Hi everyone, I thought I'd do another little walk and talk. I'm in the south of Tokyo in Yokohama and I'm heading to another hard off. I'm having a hangover day. I was out having some drinks with Kid Shoryuken and Papatikyo last night, had a few too many. Missed the train home, had to spend 80 bucks on a taxi. I learned my lesson the hard way. I want to tell you though about experience I had a couple of days ago when I was filming for the Japanese TV and how I got to talk to an employee from Hard Off and find out some of their secret information. It's just him telling about Hard Off. It's not really super big secret. Please don't ban me, Hard Off Corporation. I love you. So, I was telling in my last video that I got selected to be in this Japanese TV show called Why Do You Come to Japan? And it's a show they kind of hang out at airports and tourist places and they try to interview tourists. What are you doing here? And if someone has an interesting story, they follow them around for the day. And they seem to like my story. I'm like, I go to Hard Off, so I collect these games. I think it's not well known amongst Japanese people, so they found it interesting to do that. And so they followed me around for the day. And we went to 2 stores, and I was in, and I'm like trying to show games and talk to them about why I like Hard Off and talk to them about what is fascinating for us foreigners about these parts of Japanese culture. And we went to the first store, and I had plenty to talk about in the first store. And still a little hangover, sorry about that. But by the time we got to the second store, I was a bit tired and I was sort of running out of things. Like there's plenty to talk about in a Hard Off, but what do you talk about to normies, to civilians about, you can't just keep going on with obscure game facts. It's not going to be interesting. So I was struggling. And the lady said, well, hey, the director said, hey, why don't we talk to an employee? And I thought, hey, that's cool. So we line up and he doesn't speak English, it's fine. And we're going through a translator and my performer instincts kind of instantly kick in and I'm standing there, I'm like, all right, it's an interview. And the first thing I got to ask him was, how do they determine what's junk? Who sets this and what criteria are they using? And he kind of first just answers it very briefly, very polite in Japanese, was like, well, if it's broken, it goes to junk. And I was like, come on, bro, I've had a million things in the junk. They work, everything's good. Most things work unless it's obviously broken. There's many things in the junk that are not broken. And he sort of started to open up after this. He's like, well, if there's blemishes, if it doesn't look good, if it, any small thing you're necessarily. And then he was also saying that if there's too many of an item in a store, then it can also be sent to junk as well. And a really good example of that is the Wii right now. Oh my God, there is 1 trillion Wiis available, and every store has a lineup in their good section of very nice Wiis. You can pay 30, 40, 50 for a box, complete in box, this whole thing. But then you head out the back and it's just lines and rows and boxes of Wiis. So they go and put them all out the front. So if there's too much of a thing, they'll put it into the junk, which I thought was interesting. Then I asked him, I said, okay, fine. How do you set the prices? Who's determining that? Is there a database or something? Is there some, sorry, my hand's getting sore. Is there some database? Who's setting that? How are you determining these things? And he said that to me that he does it. And I didn't understand if he's the store manager, but he's like a kid. He was like 25 or something like that. Nice guy. We talked about Mario. We had a good time. He said he's going to see the Mario movie with his girlfriend. I said, I'm going to do the same thing. That was cool. He was maybe 25. I can't tell with these Japanese guys. I don't know. Could be anything. But nice dude. And he got to set the prices on things. And I said, do you look it up? Is there a central Hard Off database? And I didn't understand if there could be some sort of central Hard Off database. But he said he doesn't have to do that. He said it's set at a store level. And when they get items, he will look it up. And I presume Yahoo Auctions. But he also, Japanese sites, but then also international ones as well. So they're also looking a little internationally. So this is why you're getting the disparity between stores, and you may also get a disparity inside of a store. The same game can cost more or less, I guess, when it goes on the shelf, and it's very hard to go outside, to go to the store and find every copy of Excite Truck for the Wii and then accurately reprice them based off the information at the current time. That's hard. So you're ending up with that. So I thought that was interesting about prices. talking to Jim, to Kid Shoryuken last night, he said he's heard that a lot of the Hard Off stores are franchises as well. I didn't know this. Not all of them. Some of them are company stores and some of them are franchises. So clearly a franchisee is going to have a lot more autonomy than, you know, maybe a company person. So the prices are set locally, which I like that. Because if I think about maybe a GameStop or whatever we've got in Australia, I forget, a Game or whatever it is, anything in the West, I would just completely believe that those prices are set from a central database. The kid who's at the CEX in central London, he is just pulling it out of the computer, putting it on whatever corporate tells him is the current price. And I like that these stores have autonomy. You know, this guy, he was in the games. He knew his stuff. He knows his store. I thought that was I think it's a unique thing about Hard Off. It sounds like maybe a Japanese cultural aspect that comes into it as well. He had respect. He pride in his store. He was proud of the store. He referred to the junk as treasure. And I think it's a good, there are treasures. That's how they think of them. Who knows what you are going to find out the back there. And the last thing that I got to do with this guy is he gave me a brief tour of the back. If you've ever been to a Hard Off, you pay at the counter, and there's always like a back section behind the counter where they clean them and they're doing their behind the scenes work and everything. And it was no cameras. We weren't allowed to show cameras, but I did get a little tour. I saw how they tested them. And he was also saying, well, things might go to the junk if we can't test them. And you can imagine that there is a squillion weird devices, even even stuff that you wouldn't even think is that obscure. I didn't see, for example, a way to test Dreamcast, but they've got some Dreamcast in the store, so maybe they pull a unit out to test it. So it would be very easy to not be able to test everything. So often that's why it can be in junk as well. So if you're really obscure shopper, you may be able to find those deals. It was just nice. We just saw behind. I didn't see the machine. Of all the things I regret of this day, I didn't see that shrink wrapping machine. I would have liked to get some footage of that. So it was a good time. It was interesting to be able to talk to this guy and just hear some of the philosophy behind what they do at Hard Off. I liked it. It was good to talk to him. I don't have any footage because that was filmed by the TV crew, and that's their footage, and I don't want to rain on their parade. I don't know if I'm giving away the facts by raining on their parade right now with this video. So come to Hard Off. I'm going to be making more videos. I enjoyed my time with the TV crew. I don't know, I tried to make it interesting. I worry sometimes that I'm a bit boring or I couldn't make it exciting, but hopefully the show will go to air. So, because the idea with this show that I was on, it's not guaranteed that this segment will get to air. The way they work is there's some independent directors who make segments, and then there's still a final producer who gives them the say whether it can go on air. And they said also they might get back to me if they want some extra footage. And I'm a pro, baby. I'm like, I'll be there for you. I want to do any sort of thing or any sort of work or any sort of exposure that I can get in Japan. So I'm like, I will be there. So thanks for watching my video. I'm on the way to a Hard Off, a little bit hungover, as I was saying. I'm only going to hit a couple of stores today. So thanks very much for watching. Thank you for the support. I appreciate everyone following me on Twitter. Please like and subscribe. I'm making a new video every couple of days when I am here. My name is Lewis. This is Zez Retro. See you next time.